on this is a live session recorded on the 30th of July, and it will be also possibly published for everybody to be able to look at it again for reference. So before we start, I would like to introduce the Seabridge team. First of all, my name is Gergana Dimitrova. I'm from F6S Island. We are the managers of this open call. I'm assisted here by my colleague Victoria from F6S as well. Also, we are very happy to be joined today by the team of the coordinator of this Seabridge project from the Istanbul Mineral and Metals Exporters Association. So this is Fatma Unal and the Banu team. Before I give the floor to the coordinators, I would like to present shortly to you the agenda of today, and also to a little bit of housekeeping rules to tell you how we are going to be working. So first of all, this is, like I said, it's a live session, which also has a Q&A session. So you are welcome to post any questions. You can do that either in the chat or in the special functionality that you have in the Zoom for questions and answers. So you can ask the questions throughout the whole webinar. We will be answering as soon as we can. And let me tell you what we will be sharing with you, what information we will be sharing with you. First of all, we will be presenting the Seabridge project, which is the context of this open call. My colleague Fatma Unal from Istanbul Mineral and Metals Exporters Association will be the one presenting the project. We believe it's very important for any applicant to this open call to understand the project, because this is basically the basis of our work. And while you can read a lot about the open call on our website, the open call pages, and in different other places where we have published information, so this would be a unique opportunity for you to understand better what the project is about, what are our objectives, our goals, our ambitions. And so you will be, I think, in that way, better prepared to deliver a very good application for our open call. After Fatma, it will be me talking about the open call in great detail. We will be telling you what it is about and why you should apply, what are the benefits for you. We will speak about what activities can be funded. We will also mention how the evaluation process will be organized and clarify a little bit the evaluation and selection criteria. And we will sum up with the 3 simple steps that you have to follow to apply for our open call. We believe they are indeed simple, so we have tried to make this as easy as possible for anyone to apply. And also we want to keep this session very practical and focused on what is important. So like I said, please use this opportunity to ask us questions. But we will also, in the course of talking, we will share also our official email where you can ask more specific questions that you may not want to share with everyone in this webinar. So you can send us an email and we will come back to you. So without taking any longer, I would like to give the floor to Fatma Unal to present the Seabridge project.
Thank you, Gergana. Dear participants, welcome to our first webinar of Open Call as part of the Seabridge project. I'm Fatma Unal, a project expert from the coordinator organization in Istanbul Mineral and Metals Exporters Association. And thank you in advance for your participation and interest in our call and today's webinar related to this activity. In my section, I will briefly mention about the Seabridge project. The Seabridge project is supported by the financial contribution of the European COSME Single Market Program and has a consortium structure. The project coordinated by EMIP and has partners from Spain, Slovenia, Italy, and Ireland, including various SMEs organizations. From Slovenia, OZE Kamnik represents 62 independent chambers in its country, providing consultancy, training, and educational services to SMEs across a wide range of needs. Pego from Spain has acted as a catalyst to promote technology transfer and innovation, strengthening ties between universities, industry and society for over 40 years. Another partner from Spain, UARO, is a technology company offering platform services for emission reduction through multidisciplinary experts in sustainability and digital technology. Our partner from Ireland, Earnect, is a non-profit digital transition service agency, and another Irish partner, F6S, the host organization for this event, is a global network that connects startups with investors, mentors, partners, and other resources through a platform. Our dissemination partner, GPS from Italy, is a non-profit international organization with expertise in education, innovation, and project management across various European programs. Next, please. I would like to talk about the need that the Sea Bridge project addressed. As we all know, climate change has become a global issue, prompting the European Union to initiate the Green Deal process in 2019 and to transition to a modern, resource-efficient, and a competitive economy. One of the most significant steps taken in this regard is the Carbon Border Adjustment Mechanism, in means CBAM, which aims to reduce carbon emissions in energy-intensive industries with a focus on green and digital transition. As many of us are aware, we are currently in the transition phase for CBAM, and the implementation phase will start on January 2026. Next, please. The Sea Bridge project aims to identify the needs of SMEs, particularly in energy-intensive industry, and assist them and intermediary organizations supporting to SMEs in adapting to green and digital transition. A kickoff meeting of the project was held with the physical participation of project partners on October last year. The project duration is 24 months, and approximately half of the total budget will be provided as a financial support to 60 third-party SMEs. Next, please. The primary target group of the Sea Bridge project consists of energy-intensive social economy SMEs. The sectors mentioned here include iron, steel, aluminum, cement, electricity, fertilizer, and hydrogen. The other target group includes intermediate organizations that support these SMEs, such as chambers, professional organizations, associations, technology transfer office, technoparks of universities. Next, please. To achieve the mentioned objectives, the first activity is to provide advisory services for SMEs. This activity aims to inform SMEs about the current SBAM legislation, discussing the reporting obligations, and gather experts' opinions, enhance SMEs' knowledge and skills in the green market, and encourage them to initiative in this field. In capacity building activities targeting intermediate organization, it's aimed to enhance their capacity to provide services and expertise in CBAM and twin transition. Providing direct financial support to SMEs is one of the main activities of the Sea Bridge, helping SMEs develop solutions to increase their competitiveness through financial support. Finally, establishment of a sustainable business model through transnational and cross-sectoral cooperation among the intermediate organizations is targeted. All of our activities are documented in an e-newsletter and released every 6 months during the project lifetime. Next, please. And what has been done so far? Briefly mentioning what we have done since last October, we first conducted a need assessment analysis for SMEs and intermediate organizations to clarify the contents of our trainings, received feedback from total 121 entities. Additionally, we conducted interviews with experts in the CBAM field from Turkey, Slovenia, Spain, Italy, and Serbia to expand the scope of our situation and need assessment analysis. In addition, best practices in green and digital transition at national and international levels were searched and gathered, and national, regional, and international funding support mechanisms for partner countries were compiled. All these studies were released in a comprehensive guideline and added an e-book format to the project website. Next, please. As of April, we have organized 3 online international events. Our first event was an informative session that explained CBAM and shared the activities carried out within the Seabridge project. In this event, we received 76 participants from 9 countries. They were 69% from intermediate organizations. In the peer learning workshop series, intermediate organizations from Turkey, Ireland, Spain, and Slovenia shared best practices related to green and digital transition conducted their own organizations. A total of 150 participants attended to these workshops. Since 83% were from the intermediate organizations, the peer learning workshops achieved the objectives. Next, please. Yes. On the other hand, we organized 3 national webinars for only Turkish, Spanish, and Slovenian SMEs in May and June related to the EU funding opportunities, green and digital transitions, and CBAM. The language for those webinars was the native language, and 200 SMEs attended for these events. Next, please. We are actively conducting our activities to achieve these goals. To stay informed about our upcoming activities, you can visit our website and follow us on our LinkedIn and Facebook social media platforms. You can also access the recordings of our recent events through our website if you couldn't attend these events. Next, please. What are the upcoming activities? We launched a call in the summer period, and it will be open until the 1st October. We will also continue to provide advisory sessions to SMEs in the CBAM, EU funding opportunities, and green and digital technologies with the collaboration study with our Spanish partner within the August. The last of our informative events will be the 2nd international webinar to be held in September. And additionally, 2nd Info Day event for the open call will be organized in September as well. Additionally, 2 online trainings will be organized for SMEs and intermediate managers in October and November subsequently. Next, please. You can follow us for announcements using these QR codes for our website and social media platforms. And this concludes my introduction to the Seabridge project. Thank you for taking time to listen to me.
Thank you so much, Fatma, for introducing the project. Like I said, we believe that by knowing the context and our project activities, all the applicants will be much better prepared to develop applications that are aligned with our goals and with our ambitions. And what we will do currently now is we will start talking in detail about the open call, about all the details. But please give me a second. I would like to make an alternative recording so that make sure that the recording will be available really for everyone who might have missed parts of this presentation, so that they can start developing their application based on enough information that we have provided. Okay, so I'd like to start first of all to present in very briefly the open call in a nutshell. First of all, I would like you to pay attention to our website, the project open page that contains all the information that you may ever need in order to have a successful application. So this is the Seabridge Info Project EU. And then there is a dedicated page on the open call. But we are here now to also give you the basics so that you don't have to look for it yourself. So we launched the open call on the 1st of July, 2024. We already have some successful applications. The deadline is an important thing. It's coming on the 1st of October. And the applications will close exactly at 17 p.m. Central European Time. And no applications will be accepted on the platform after that date. So the grant that social economy SMEs can obtain is between 4,000 and 8,000 euro. It is specifically for social economy SMEs that are operating in the energy intensive industries, and the grant is given in the form of a lump sum. And rest assured that we will be talking about the grant, the activities, and what is a lump sum later on in my presentation. So, like Fatma already mentioned, we are giving out a huge part of our budget as financial support to third parties. So we have 480,000 euro to invest in social economy SMEs. And we expect that at least 60 social economy SMEs will receive the grant in this open call. What is the engagement that you should expect on your side if you were awarded the grant? So this will be a 4-month implementation period for the funded activities, which I will give you later the exact timelines. It would start in January until the end of June next year. So there will be 6 months in which those that were awarded the grant will be given to implement the activities in full and to also have all the financial, all the payments and everything cleared by that time. So it's a short time. That's why we are stressing it out that it's a limited participation in the program. We also offer to all the candidates in this open call, not only the ones that are accepted, but also to the others that may not have a successful application, to everyone, and also social economy SMEs that are not part of or not even applying for the open call, but would be interested. We offer acceleration program that will be provided by the Seabridge partners. So what are the objectives of this open call and why to apply? So first of all, the objectives. Like I said, we are providing direct financial support for social economy SMEs in the energy intensive industries. All the objectives are targeted at those SMEs. So we are supporting the green and digital transition of those SMEs in order to enable them to easily adopt to the carbon border adjustment mechanisms regulation requirements in particular. Also, we would like to help them achieve more resource efficient production and energy savings through operational capacity building activities. And we want to enable them to, with this grant, to find new financing for any innovative solutions or strategies that they are developing that are related to their green and digital production. So the benefits for you as applicants and potential awarded applicants. So first of all, you will receive financial support, like I said, in the form of a lump sum. It's between 4,000 and 8,000 euro. It will be granted for implementing activities to support your transition to greener and more digital operations, and which would also, we hope, improve your overall competitiveness and impact. The grant will come in the form of a lump sum. For those of you who are familiar with European projects, this is something that you know what it is. For those that you are not, basically, it's a form of grant that would not require on your part any detailed financial reporting or timesheets. So a lot less bureaucracy and paperwork. And we will be monitoring and controlling the use of the project budget and the achievement of the objectives for which you were awarded this grant by basically evaluating the actual implementation of the funded activities. So the focus will be on technical reporting about what you have achieved, what you have done, and not about like paperwork, like timesheets or financial, slips and stuff like that. So, like I said, we are offering free acceleration program, which is provided by the Seabridge partners. It's tailored to the needs of the social economy SMEs that will participate in it. So anyone who has applied for the Seabridge Open Call will be invited and will have priority access. Of course, the ones that are granted in this open call, they receive the grant, they will have even more possibilities to work with us in the project, also including in this free acceleration program. So this program is designed to support your operational efficiency and sustainable practices. And the important thing to say is that it will be running in parallel with the implementation of the activities that will be funded by the grant that you may receive if you are successful in our open call. So it will be running also in the first half of next year. The other benefit, which we believe is also extremely important for social economy SMEs, is that you can, if you join our program, you will be able to meet experts and professionals that share your views or also grapple with the same challenges as you. So you will be invited to all our events, and you can benefit from them in many ways by getting knowledge, information, or just by meeting other people. So the question that most of you probably would like to clarify, am I eligible for this open call? So there is a few requirements about eligibility that we want to clarify. One is, in general, like we said many times, this is an open call for the social economy SMEs, meaning two things. There are two requirements in this term. First of all, you have to be a small and medium-sized enterprise, an SME, according to the European Commission definition. And we have included here this link. It's also in our guide for applicants. You can check exactly what the European, what the European Commission means by social economy SME. I will be briefly giving the information, although it's, like I said, it's always better to read actually in more detail what the European Commission says, but you have to be independent enterprise, not linked or owned by another enterprise. Your headcount in annual full-time equivalent employment, basically the people that work in your enterprise, have to be less than 250, and the annual turnover should be less or equal to 50 million euros, or the annual balance sheet should be less or equal to 43 million. So it's quite detailed requirements, very easy to check whether you fall in that category or not. Please be mindful of the fact that when you are applying for our open call, you will be declaring that you are a SME according to this definition. But for those that receive the grant and are awarded in this call, they will also have to submit some supporting documents, including official declaration that they are a social economy SME. The second part of that term that we are using, social economy SMEs, as a second requirement that we have is that any SME that participates in our call should be operating in the social economy, should be active in the social economy. We have provided here a link to the European Commission document, that an action plan for the social economy, that is a very concise, very easy to understand guide about what the social economy is. If you open our guidelines for applicants, we do have some other links to legal documents by the European Commission. Just in case you want to understand further what the social economy is, but we have summarized a few, the three main principles and features that the social economy actors actually share. And if you want to apply for this open call, please make sure that you share those principles and features and that they characterize your enterprise. So it's the primacy of people and social or environmental purpose over profit, meaning that you are providing services or goods that generate a social return and not just profit, or you are employing methods of production of goods and services that embody a social objective. Could be that you are some of your workers with disabilities, could be that the method of production has another social objective in mind that you are trying to achieve. It's in different countries, you have different legal regimes for the social economy SMEs, but I think this principle is basically the guiding one about whether or not you are an actor in the social economy or not. So the second principle is that there is a reinvestment of most of the profits and the surpluses that you generate in your business activities to carry out activities in the interest of the members or users, the collective interest, or society at large, the general interest. And social economy SMEs are characterized by democratic and participatory governance. They might be involving workers or customers or stakeholders in the governing and management of the enterprise. Like I said, please read our guidelines for applicants. We will give you the link to the guidelines a little bit later. Read the social economy action plan, the action plan for the social economy that the European Commission published in 2021. Specifically, page 5 summarizes excellently everything you need to know about that. Okay, so say that you are a social economy SME according to the definitions that we provided. There are a few other eligibility criteria. One is the country that you are based in, and one is the industry sector. So the eligible countries, as you can see, all the EU member states are eligible. So any enterprise that is registered in any EU member state can apply. It's also open to countries in the European Economic Area, specifically Iceland, Norway, and Liechtenstein. And also enterprises in the associated countries of the European Union, specifically Albania, Bosnia and Herzegovina, Kosovo, Montenegro, North Macedonia, Serbia, and Turkey. The eligible industry sectors. We mentioned it several times. The whole project is focused on the energy-intensive industry ecosystem, and financial support to third parties that we are providing is no exception. So we are targeting SMEs, social economy SMEs that are active in the upstream or downstream value chains in the energy-intensive industry ecosystem. Of course, the energy-intensive industry ecosystem includes a lot of different sectors. We have listed some of them here. We have included also the upstream and downstream value chains, but it has to be stressed that if an SME is applying for an open call, they have to have a very clear, direct link to the energy-intensive industry ecosystem. Their business or production activities have to be somehow related, and they can have to support this ecosystem. We are searching for very direct link and involvement, and you will have the chance to perhaps explain that in your application form. So please do. in case you are not clearly from one of the sectors that we have listed, so that we can consider your eligibility to be part of the open call and your eligibility to basically benefit from what we can offer, because the whole project is focused on the energy intensive industry ecosystem. So we are not in the position to provide too much support or consultancy to anybody in the sectors. So what activities can be financed with the grant? We have 4 types of activities that are eligible to be financed. You can apply to one or more of them as long as you keep within the funding limit, which is between 4,000 and 8,000 euros. So the first type of activity is business support services. And please rest assured, I will be giving a little bit more information about these activities, but let us go through the 4 main types, and then we will speak a little bit about each of them. So business support services is one, consulting services for certification or labeling assets, including any intellectual property rights, attendance of events and topics related to the CBAM, the Carbon Border Adjustment Mechanism, or to digital and green transition more broadly. And then the last type of activity is in-company trainings on CBAM or on green and digital transition topics. So as you can see, the grant is intended mostly for you to fund services from external service providers that could help you in your twin transition, green and digital, meaning that you have to find a service provider that you want to work with that can enhance your sustainability strategy, or that can move you further along in your green and digital transition. And you can use this grant to fund the costs of receiving those services by these external service providers. But you can also attend events and that are related to the topics of this project. The activities, we have several expectations about the activities in addition to the type of activities that we are funding. So first of all, they have to be related to the needs and specific requirements that you have in your organization. And please make sure that you justify and tell us about that in the application form, so that we know how what you want to be funded actually is important for your organization, for its sustainability, for its further growth and competitiveness. And like I said, it has to be specified and justified in the application form already at the time when you are applying. So the activities have to be directly related to green and digital transition or to the CBAM. They have to be associated with KPIs, meaning that they have to be there has to be a way to measure what you have achieved, what impact has been received by implementing this grant. So make sure that you have some indicators and measures that you will be using to evaluate the success of the activities that you are proposing. And please keep in mind that if this grant is awarded, you as a beneficiary will have to organize, coordinate, and implement these activities yourself, including any contracting of service providers and monitoring their work, paying them, and so on. So the Seabridge project is not providing for you external service providers. It's not offering you, it's not going to interfere into your business with those service providers. It will be your independent work with the service providers that you have chosen, and it's your responsibility to ensure that they deliver a good quality at the end. So the services have to achieve the indicators that you have planned and the impacts that you have planned. So the examples of activities that can be financed in the business support services track, I have listed here some possible activities that services that you can apply to have financing for, but please make sure that they have to be relevant to the Carbon Border Adjustment Mechanism or to green and digital transition. So these would be services provided by specialists or companies that are related to the specific needs of your company, and they should help you on your quest to achieve digital and green transition or CBAM adoption. So you can apply to finance your sustainability consulting, sustainability strategies development, any coaching and mentoring on relevant topics, services for developing digital transformation plans, any implementation and support of CRM on ERP systems, support on analyzing and optimizing supply chains, data analytics and business intelligence services, carbon accounting and reporting, and legal and policy advisory services. As long as they're related to the CBAM or to green and digital transition, those type of services can be funded by the project, by the grant. If you choose to request funding for consulting services, excuse me, for consulting services for certification or labeling of assets, including intellectual property rights. So you can procure services providing expert guidance and support to achieve sustainability or green or digital certification, and you can cover the fees and costs for obtaining relevant certificates, including any intellectual property rights such as trademarks. You can also use the fund to pay for events attendance, as long as the events are related to CBAM or green and digital transition. So you can cover fees for webinars, courses, seminars, conferences, or similar activities. In-company trainings on CBAM and green and digital transition topics can be also funded. The topics that we have given as an example, how to adopt this, to adopt CBAM, how to adjust to CBAM regulation, software digital tools training, green circular economy practices training, and so on. So as you can see, we cover a broad range of services that you can request on your path to green and digital transition. Please make sure again that all the services that you want to receive are well detailed and presented in your application form. How the evaluation process will be organized. So first of all, we will check the eligibility and verify that you are an eligible applicant. All the applicants will go through the eligibility verification. Those that are eligible will proceed to the next step, which is evaluation by external experts. And the way it works is that we will have 2 external experts, external to the sea breach and also unrelated to any applicant. So they will review the proposals independently of each other. So there will be 2 scores for the same proposal. The next step is a consensus on final scores, which will happen through interviews with the applicants. This will happen only in case there is a significant divergence between the scores that are given by the 2 evaluators. If they agree in their scores or there is very minor divergence, this step can be missed by some applicants. If there is a significant divergence, there will be a possibility for the experts to meet you through interviews to determine a consensus score for your application. And the last step is the final ranking and selection of the applicants. So this is the timeline. It's important for you in terms of what to expect. So we will close the open call on the 1st of October. Please, again, mind the time, 17 hours. The platform will stop accepting applications automatically, so there is no way for us to accept any application after that hour. The evaluation will happen through October and November. So by the end of November, all applicants will be informed of their results. December is a month that is reserved specifically for contracting, meaning that all the awarded applicants that have been successful will sign the sub-grant agreement with the consortium. And it is important that all the contracting procedures are started and finalized during December, because in January and June, as you can see, the implementation starts. So the contracting has to have been completed by the 1st of January. So the implementation will have to end at the end of June 2025. The evaluation criteria, very briefly. So we have 4 of them. What will be evaluated, first of all, is what is in your application form. So please make sure that you answer the questions as thoroughly as possible and as clearly as possible. So first of all, the evaluators will assess how well your needs and challenges, as well as the strategy and goals you propose for green and digital transition align with the Seabridge project. Then they will evaluate the excellence, meaning that they will evaluate how well the activities that you selected address your project, your needs and objectives for green and digital transition or CBAM regulation adoption, and how well they support the integration of sustainability into your business strategy and long-term benefits. The implementation is the third criterion. So we will assess the feasibility, the effectiveness, and the potential results of the activities that you have chosen. And we will assess to what extent they actually contribute to sustainable growth in your company. So basically, we will be evaluating not with the external experts, we will be evaluating the team that will implement the activities in your organization, the results and indicators that you have planned to achieve. And we'll also look at the budget, trying to determine if it's reasonable or not. And the best recommendation we can give here is that the best budget is the budget that complies with the requirement of value for money, meaning that the money that you pay for any service would be the best, will give you the best quality that you can achieve for this money. So both the price, but also the quality is important in determining to what extent your budget is reasonable and applies with the value for money principle. The impact will be also evaluated. So we will evaluate the anticipated outcomes of the activities that you want to be funded in terms of environmental, economic, and social effects. And we will assess the contribution of your little project, 6-month project, to advancing your green and digital transition and fostering CBAM adoption in your company. So just to make sure we explain the process, so the final score that you will receive will be basically the average. We will sum for each of the criteria, you will receive the average of the scores of the scores of each of the independent external evaluators, and the total score will be a sum of those averages. Like I said, if there was a substantial divergence between the scores between the evaluators, they will have already reached a consensus after an interview with the applicant. So in the end, we will just provide a simple average of the scores. A few recommendations that we have for applicants to make sure that they succeed in this open call. It's clear, please do not wait until the last minute, because sometimes, we are doing our best, but the platform can experience some issues, and we might not be able to really help you in the last 15 minutes or so. So please, there is still more than 2 months left until the deadline. Do not wait until the last minute. In your application forms, when you are answering the questions that we are asking in order to determine to what extent your plans and your aspirations basically meet the criteria that we have listed, we will be looking for texts and expositions that are specific and concise when answering the questions, and we have put a character limitation to make sure that there is, first of all, there is equal opportunity for each applicant to say something, and not to allow some applicant to just give 15 pages, very beautiful words. But please also use this space to provide enough details and justification to strengthen your proposal. So the limits that we have given are basically do not strive to achieve those limits, but it's better to write more than 1 or 2 sentences, because then it will be easier for us to evaluate the strengths and the benefits of your proposal. Additional materials or hyperlinks to additional information that you may be providing in this online application form will not be considered. So please make sure whatever you want to say, it's said in text when answering the questions. It's important to say the applications must be submitted in English. And if you submit an application in your native language, it will not be taken into account, it will not be evaluated. Only one application per applicant will be taken into account. So if you submit more than one application from the same entity, only the last one will be evaluated. In fact, the platform would prevent you from doing that unless you have made 2 different accounts. But please make sure that you submit only one application. And the last one, based on the timestamp, will be taken into account if you manage to submit 2. The budget of the proposal must represent 100% of the total amount that you request. And please provide some justifications for the budget you have planned. And I have put here the email address, which strongly encourage you to, if you have any questions or doubts, or you need any clarifications, please write to us so that we can answer to you specifically to address the issue that you have. 3 simple steps for applying. First of all, we would strongly encourage everyone to read the rules and eligibility points in the guidelines for applicants and to check if you actually comply with them so that you don't waste time on providing information that is, or applying if you're not eligible, or providing information that you're not looking for. So that would be a very important document to help you prepare and submit a good application. In order to apply, you need to first create an F6S account, which is something very easy. It's free on the f6s.com platform, so please do that. And just submit your application on the F6S platform. So these are the steps. We will also share with the participants this presentation in case the useful links, but you can also find them in the open call page, where you can download the guidelines for applicants, the application form for reference, so that you know what you will be asked to submit. The annexes, model subgrant agreement, SME declaration, declaration of owner, and bank account information template. So it's important to say this will be needed only for those that are successful, and we will be asking for these documents only at the contracting stage if you have been one of the awarded applicants. And now I would like to open the floor to questions and answers. But since I do not see, I will have to stop sharing. Hopefully I will see the questions and answers session. Yes, I do. Okay. I can see some questions. Thank you very much for those questions. I see some of them were actually answered by my colleague, Victoria. What evidence? I'm starting with the questions. Since they are public, I assume we can answer live because this is a live session. If you have any more specific issues that you want to discuss that may not be suitable for this type of event, please also do not hesitate to write to the email that we provided so that we can answer directly to you. What evidence must be provided for the implementation of the measures? Mention a report. How long is it approximately, and should an invoice be enclosed? So there will be a report. We do not want to, like I said, our basic goal is not to divert resources and strength of the people and their, dedication to documents. So it will not be a long report, but it will be really important to provide a report that basically says when you are submitting, when you are in the contracting stage, when you are signing the subgrant agreement, we will ask you to specify in detail the key performance indicators and the measures that you will be using to evaluate the success and the impact of your project. So it will be up to you at reporting at the contracting stage. At contracting stage to determine those indicators And in the report, basically, you have to tell us how you have achieved them, whether you have achieved them, if you met any difficulties along the way, or hopefully all of that would have been achieved. But we would like to see impact. We would like to see how the money was spent to achieve your green and digital transition. So the report will be focused on the indicators, measurable, quantifiable, hopefully, but also some quality indicators to show that the money has been used for the purposes that you applied with. And an invoice should be enclosed. I would strongly encourage you to have an invoice. First of all, even if we do not require this is a lump sum project, so we are not required to ask from you to give us financial reports. But it doesn't say that you are not subject to further audits and financial checks. And therefore, it's in your best interest to make sure that all the costs that have been made during the 6 months have all the supporting financial documents duly stored. You have the obligation to keep them for 5 years after the project. So please make sure that the invoice will be there, that it will be, I would like to stress that costs should have been made in the period of implementation of the project. So if you have made a cost, let's say September, this September, you cannot use that as a evidence for something that was done during the course of the project. So any costs should be related to the activities that you have applied for. They should have been made in the period of the project. And of course, they should be legally valid according to your legislation. We will not be doing any specific, financial audits or anything like that, but doesn't say that somebody else will not do. Even your local, financial authorities might audit this cost. So please keep everything. Can we get this presentation by email? Sure. We will be making it available to all the participants. But we will be using the email that you used to register for the event. So if that email is correct, you will receive the presentation. So, excuse me, I keep losing my voice. Unfortunately, Senegalese SMEs are not eligible for this open call because the open call is open only to countries that are part of the COSME program. But I will encourage you to look for different other European funding opportunities. Please use the European Funding and Tenders portal to check for different other funding opportunities that will be suitable for Senegalese companies. How is the grant payment divided? Yeah, well, you will receive 80% of the grant if you provide all the documents at contracting stage signed, if they are verified by the consortium, and you will receive the rest once you prove successful implementation of the project. So there will be a balance payment at the end after the final report. So it would say 80% in the beginning and 20% at the end. Can Ukrainian beneficiaries apply to this call? Unfortunately, currently, according to the guideline for applicants, Ukraine is not eligible to apply in this open call. So, any other questions? Can be also, please also write in the chat if you do not want to use the. Okay, I have answered question. This one. Well, we have like 3 minutes left for any additional question if you want to quickly jump in and ask. Again, I'm so sorry for my voice. I'm recovering from a virus, so I'm just trying to keep it. So if you have any question that you would like to ask, first of all, I would like to say on our webpage, we have some frequently asked questions. We have a special section for that, so please check that. I think the guide for applicants will answer most of your questions, but if you still have a question that is not answered through these channels, please send us an email in the email that we indicated. And I would like to thank you so much for your participation. I'm so happy that there has been questions and I see that there is interest. We are really looking forward to receiving your application and hopefully working with you in 2025. And yeah, so thank you again. And I would like to give the floor to Fatma if she wants to say a few words before we close this webinar, but we still have 3 minutes, so please feel free to ask more questions. Fatma, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Thank you for all your attention and sharing the time with us. We will waiting your application to our open call. And also, if you have another question on the process of application, you can join us the second open call info day on September.
Thank you, Fatma. And also, I wanted to mention that even if you, for some reason, are not eligible for the open call or you do not want to apply, we are really looking forward to seeing you in one of our events or just following our social media channels or our newsletter. And perhaps we can still find some useful ways to collaborate or just network in other ways other than the open call. Okay, so I don't want to keep you any longer. We are actually quite good with the time. We even have 2 minutes. So good luck to everybody who has been convinced after today to apply. And we will see you in other events. Thank you very much for your attention. Bye-bye.